All right, guys. So hear this. So June 30th, yesterday, the Trump EPA just approved two new pesticides that have never been sprayed on American soil, and they just cleared them for soy and corn use. These are products that Americans use every single day. This happened just 4 days after the Supreme Court sided with Bayer and Monsanto. That's gutted your ability to even try to sue these companies if the chemicals they spray on your food have harmed you or your family. So I'm going to give you the facts on this. No panic, no politics, just information that every man who gives a damn about his health needs to hear. All right, so these two chemicals are called, let me check just so I can say the names right, diflufenican and epirephenyl. Get to know these names, get to know these chemicals, because they're now soon to be in your food. Okay, so both of these are fluorinated pesticides, which fall under the forever chemicals, or PFAS, the same chemical class that's linked to cancer, hormone disruptors, and immune system dysfunction. Now, they're called forever chemicals because they don't break down in the environment or your body. They actually just accumulate. Now, hear this bullshit. It actually gets worse. The man that the Trump administration installed to oversee pesticides approval, his name is Kyle Kunkler. Was until recently a lobbyist for the American Soybean Association. So the same industry pushing really hard for these approvals. Let that sink in. This isn't a one-off either. So in the last year and a half under the Trump administration, they've approved 5 PFAS pesticides. And under Joe Biden, who was no champion of public health either, he approved 1. So in about 3 or 4 years, you've gotten 6 PFAS pesticides now directly in the food chain. They also just expanded on the chemical, let me look it up, bifenthrin, and cleared chlormequat for the first time ever on U.S. crops. So that's 4 new approvals in 1 week. You got to be kidding me. Before we talk about what you can do, let's back up to glyphosate, because most people don't understand what it actually does to you. Glyphosate is the active ingredient in Roundup. This one chemical has been drenched in our soy and our corn crops for decades. The International Agency on Research for Cancer has classified it as a probable cancer. Just to check on the scoreboard, Bayer has paid out $10 billion in settlements that people have proven in court that they've gotten cancer from their products. And yet, this past February of 2026, Trump signed an executive order declaring glyphosate central to the American economic and national security. Holy shit. What this action actually did was just move Monsanto and Bayer either further away from liability. So here's what glyphosate does inside you. So it works by inhibiting what's called the shikimate pathway. So this metabolic pathway doesn't exist in humans, which is why it was deemed safe. But it does exist in your gut. And your gut is everything. There's a functional medicine doctor called Zach Bush, and he's been sounding the alarm on this for years. The glyphosate destroys the tight junctions in your gut lining. So what that means is leaky gut. And what leaky gut actually means is systemic inflammation. You're constantly inflamed and your immune system is constantly in chaos. Your immune system's constantly fighting a war it was never designed for. Research links glyphosate exposure to destroy populations of 2 critical bacteria in your gut. And that's lactobacillus and bifidobacterium. This is just wild, guys. These are the most critical 2 bacteria in your gut, and glyphosate is tearing them apart. I mean, this is just insane. Like, how is this legal when glyphosate directly is killing the population of the 2 most critical bacteria in your gut? Now, you lower those, and what do you got? You got celiac disease, you got systemic inflammation, your hormones are out of whack because a lot of your hormones are built and balanced in your gut. And also things like colon cancer can pop up because of this imbalance. This one pesticide is in all the non-organic soy and corn products out there on shelves today, right now. So hear this, because this is a trend that I don't see really people talking about. 72 pesticides that are approved for U.S. usage in our crops are banned in Europe. 72. So out of the 1.2 billion pounds of pesticides used in U.S. agriculture, 322 million pounds of it have already been said no by the EU. Guys, we're living in a toxic soup. See, because the EU, with all the problems they have, they handle these pesticides with a precautionary principle. So that means if there's credible evidence that a certain chemical causes harm, it has to be proven otherwise that it's actually safe for human consumption. Here in the US, yes, you probably guessed it, it's the opposite. Here it's used until enough people get sick and lawyers show up. That's the system we're in. That's what's been built. Now, I'm not telling you guys this just to panic or just to go down to some rabbit hole, feel helpless, and just quit. The truth is that most guys will hear this, block it out, and just go back to watching World Cup highlights. And that's exactly what they're counting on. So I'm telling you this because your body's either a well-functioning machine that fights, detoxes, and performs well, or it's not. And what you eat is the foundation of that. So what can you do? A paleo diet cuts corn and soy out completely. Not as a fad, not as a trend, just as a rational response to what's being done to our crops. When you remove processed grains, corn-fed everything, and soy from your diet, you are removing the primary delivery vehicles of glyphosate and all the other pesticides that I just mentioned. You want a well-functioning liver? That's your body's primary detox organ, of course. And a side note, 70% of Americans over the age of 35 have a sluggish liver. So be aware of that. Keep your liver clean. You want a healthy gut with a strong microbial diversity. That also means cut the booze down, guys. Then you want a clear mind that isn't working on inflammation. So that's three things for you there: liver, gut, and your mind. These are the foundational pieces of a man that can perform, think clearly, and do what's best for his family. So just to wrap it up, guys, here are my tips. Eat clean animal protein, eat vegetables, eat healthy fats, cut the seed oils out, and also cut the processed grains out. And last, prioritize your sleep so your liver can do its job throughout the night. So if you're going to take anything from this video, guys, just realize that the food system is not on your side. So that's the video. 2 new pesticides to research and to be aware of, guys. A liability shield for Bayer and Monsanto, and you know why. 72 chemicals that we still spray on our crops for our children and for ourselves that the EU has banned years ago. This is the trend. Know it, act accordingly. So train and eat like your life depends on it, because at this point, it does. See you in the next one, guys.